I love talking about my different fandoms and favorite video games and movies and TV shows as much as the next person, but there are things happening right now in our country that need to be talked about. It's political, it's not good news. It's things that are uncomfortable to talk about, but that need to be talked about and need to be brought attention to. People need to know and stay informed of what is going on. Below in my video description, there is an ever-growing list of people, social media accounts, organizations, and websites that are standing up to the hatred and violence we are seeing by our quote-unquote President Trump. Check out any of the links and social media accounts that I have at the bottom of my description to stay informed and to find out how you can help fight back. Just like Captain America said that it doesn't matter what the mobs or the politicians tells you. It doesn't matter if so many of them is saying something wrong is something right. And if they come to you saying that, telling you to move, it is your job to stand there and plant yourself beside the river of truth and say, no, you move. Hatred and ignorance and fear is not what makes our country great. Hey geeks, what's up? I'm Trey Guillotine, welcome to my channel, and today I am enthusiastically geeky about a potentially new Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic game coming out of EA. But before I talk about that, I got one question for you. What you gaming on? If you want to tell me what you're gaming on, tell me the game you're playing, what you like about it, what you don't like about it, and your answer will be featured in a future What You Gaming On segment video. We're going to go ahead and jump in on what I've been gaming on, and I've actually been playing a little bit of the new Kingdom Hearts DLC, the Remind DLC, which I feel like Squaresoft needed to be reminded about the Final Fantasy aspects of Kingdom Hearts, which was always my favorite part about the entire series. Is I loved having Leon or Squall, Leon, and Yuffie, just everyone from Final Fantasy kind of mixed into this Disney story. Even though the story is very confusing, and the DLC does not fail to deliver on continuing to be complicated. I actually feel like the DLC tries to explain some of the things that went on at the end of the game, and true to Kingdom Hearts form, it really just makes it even more confusing. I don't know, it's not bad. The gameplay is Kingdom Hearts 3, which was some great mechanics. I'm not going to say it's not fun to play, but story-wise, it's not making a lot of sense aside from just, oh, hey, time travel. But it's very complicated, and so far I feel kind of gypped, which I don't want to give too much spoilers away, but essentially most of the DLC I've played so far, which I haven't finished it yet, so, take it for what it is. I haven't finished the DLC yet, but essentially, at least the first part of it is just rehashing the end of the game, but with a couple of extra boss battles. Which, I don't know, I feel, because it's been a while since I've beaten Kingdom Hearts 3, the fact that I had to, redo or, rehash all of the stuff that you do at the end of the game of Kingdom Hearts 3, it's a little bit better because it's been so long since I've done it that I'm kind of reminded, oh, maybe that's why it's called Remind. I'm kind of reminded what happened, everything that happens in the end of the game, but if I were playing, straight through Kingdom Hearts 3 and then beat Kingdom Hearts 3 and then went into this DLC, I'd be really annoyed that I'm now having to go back and redo the ending of Kingdom Hearts 3 again. So I don't know. I feel kind of gypped by that. I really hope that it's just because I'm still in the beginning part of the DLC and that there will be something new that comes out of it and that we will eventually meet up with the Final Fantasy characters of Kingdom Hearts, because so far that hasn't happened yet, and I'd really like that to happen because that was the drawing thing that got me into Kingdom Hearts 1, was the fact that you had characters from Final Fantasy in this kind of Disney Squaresoft, Square Enix mishmash of a game. So I don't know. I haven't beaten it yet, so take this with a grain of salt. I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but so far I'm actually more annoyed than anything with it. So take that as it will. I'm going to finish it, and maybe I can let y'all know what I think of it after finish it. But that's what I've been gaming on. Now, I want to hear what you've been gaming on. So, like I said, if you want to tell me what game you're playing, what you like about it, and what you don't like about it, let me know in the comments of this video or on any of my social media, and your answer will be featured in an upcoming video. So, this week, we've seen some pretty exciting rumors that have to do with Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. This is all from IGN. I'm taking all this information that I got it from IGN, and it looks like that EA is possibly in development of a new Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic game. What they've said about it, or at least the rumors that have been going about it, is that they're going to take parts of Knights of the Old Republic 1 and Knights of the Old Republic 2 the Sith Lords and make it into one game that can fit within the Star Wars canon, which they've already done that. They've already made Knights of the Republic and Revan canon in Star Wars. In Star Wars Rise of Skywalker, there's a stormtrooper battalion or platoon called like Team Revan or something. So they've already made it clear that they are at least attempting to make the story of Darth Revan and Knights of the Old Republic canon within the Star Wars universe. So it looks like this game will further that endeavor, but what they've said they're going to do is to kind of take both games and make it into one game, which poses a lot of questions. So first off, let's talk about who's going to be developing this game. So if we look back, we've got Knights of the Old Republic 1 was done by Bioware, and then Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords, was done by Obsidian. Personally, I like Knights of the Old Republic 1 a lot better. I thought the story was a lot better, just in my opinion. I mean, obviously, it was like this it was this huge reveal at the end, and sorry, spoiler alert, but it's been like 20 years since the game came out, where you discover that you're Darth Revan. Like, it was a huge story plot point that blew everyone's minds. So I really liked that one over Sith Lords, where honestly, I know that I didn't dislike the game. It wasn't like Sith Lords wasn't a bad game, but I barely remember. Like, I remember being like, okay, this game's okay, but it's not nearly as good as Knights of the Republic 1. So personally, that's between Bioware and Obsidian, who Bioware did KOTOR 1 and Obsidian did KOTOR 2. Personally, I hope that Bioware takes up the helm of this. If we're going to speculate on what a new KOTOR game from Bioware could look like, I think that it would look a lot like Dragon Age Inquisition. Because despite being a Star Wars science fiction RPG, Knights of the Republic 1 really feels like the skeleton of what the Dragon Age series came to be. Like, the mechanics are very similar. The mechanics are almost exactly similar, actually, than what went into Dragon Age Origins and then Dragon Age 2 and Inquisition. And even the dialogue choices are very similar, the way that kind of like makes your character good or bad. Like Knights of the Republic was the base layer, the skeleton of what Dragon Age came to be. So if we could get a new Star Wars Knights of the Republic game from Bioware that's like Dragon Age, I think that would be amazing. The mechanics just alone would be a lot of fun. It'd be very action-packed. It would look amazing, but just think about what kind of character creation we could get with a Bioware KOTOR game. You know, before in Knights of the Republic, both 1 and 2, you didn't have a lot of character customization. You got to kind of like mess around with what class you wanted to be, but as far as like how your character looks, you basically just had a number of different like face selections, and that was it. You didn't get to like mold your face in any way. You didn't get to choose your hair color or your eye color or whatever. It was very, very, very base level. Just pick the head you want to be your character, and that was it. So if we're getting a KOTOR Dragon Age Inquisition style game, just think of like how in-depth that character creation could become. We get to like choose like if we want how our faces are going to look, our eyes, our hair, the whole thing. And if we're thinking that this will be like Dragon Age Inquisition, and kind of a reimagining or a remake of Knights of the Old Republic, would it be possible that we would actually get to choose what race Darth Revan could be. Uh, would that be an issue for future Star Wars canon of looking back on what Revan was? Not really, because they've already kind of covered that in the Old Republic MMO, where they talk about Darth Revan, despite whatever your own choices were about how you played your Darth Revan character, either good or bad. There's like this cult of Revan that you come across, and they're like, oh no, he was beyond the light and the dark side. He was something completely different, and it's more of this legend of Darth Revan as opposed to what Darth Revan actually was, however you played him, which kind of, I think it worked out really well that way. Like, it kept Revan very central, well, not even central, but at least peripherally involved in the Old Republic MMO, but also kind of having its own story. So if we could like be able to choose what race we could have, like you do in Dragon Age Origin, in Dragon Age, and then be able to choose our race in Knights of the Republic, I think that would be so awesome. Like Revan could be a Twi'lek, it could be a Twi'lek Jedi. He could be any number of the other races that are in the Star Wars universe, and I think that would be amazing. And then you get to customize what that alien race looks like, and really, really have your own Darth Revan. And I think that would be fantastic. I would love to be able to really create my own Star Wars character, which like the last couple of Star Wars games that came out was like Battlefront 2, which, was fine, but there's no real character customization aside from what like skins your different troopers wear. And then there was, of course, what came out just a few months ago, Jedi Fallen Order, which was a strong single player campaign, but you didn't really get to customize your character Cal as how he looks. You got to choose like what poncho he wore, or what colors he was wearing, or what lightsaber he was using. But aside from that, it was pretty much like you're Cal, and that's the character you're going to be. So if we actually get to create our very own Jedi, just like we want to make it, that would be awesome. And that also goes into choosing what kind of class our Darth Revan could be. Now, in Knights of the Republic, you got to choose between, like, initially it was like you got to choose between warrior, which was like full-on battle, explorer, which was kind of best of both worlds between battle and stealth, and then you got to choose the more stealthy rogue class. But then when you become a Jedi, you get to like choose if you're going to be more fighter or more force, or like you got to have a bunch of different choices between what kind of Jedi you wanted to be. So if we're doing this again, would it be more similar to choosing our Dragon Age race, where you get to be like a warrior with one strong lightsaber, or if you're going to be a rogue with two lightsabers, or if you're going to be a force sensitive mage where you have like one lightsaber but you're mostly using the force. I think that would be really cool. Like, I really do think that a lot of the Dragon Age Inquisition mechanics and the character customization is just how that game works could lend itself to make this new Knights of the Old Republic game stronger, if that's what it's going to be. If this new KOTOR game is going to be like a remake or a reimagining of the past two games. So whatever it's going to be, we don't know, but that's what they've said. The other question I'm coming into is how exactly are they going to be kind of putting those two stories together? So if they're basically so it really sounds like they're trying to like kind of remake both KOTOR 1 and 2 into one solid game or one solid narrative, but then it makes me wonder, will the main character be Revan throughout the entire thing, where you're going to be Revan and you play through the story elements of KOTOR 1, then you find out you're Revan, then you fight Darth Malak, and then you just go into the story of the Sith Lords? That'll be a little bit different because you're Darth Revan. Or would it essentially be you play as Darth Revan through KOTOR 1, and then at some point after you defeat Malak, Darth Revan goes off to do his own thing, which they've said they want to kind of show what Revan was doing during the events of KOTOR 2. Don't really know what that means, if that means he'll be like the playable character for the KOTOR 2 narrative elements, or if we're just going to have to create like a whole new character like you do in KOTOR 2 that'll then go into the narrative of KOTOR 2. Like, the way they've said that they want to do it is kind of confusing. Like, I'm not really sure how they're going to do it, if this is going to be like they're just going to make both games back to back, or if they're going to just completely redo the story, or if there's going to be a sequel or reimagining or whatever. But this rumor is very early. Like, this rumor has only been going around for like the past week, so it's been a very early rumor. Let's not jump to too many conclusions of what this is going to be, because that's just the nature of this industry, that like games can be announced and then shelved and never be heard from again. But I really hope this plays out, because I think a new Knights of the Old Republic game would be amazing. Like, I really, just thinking about this new game makes me want to go back and play Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2, just so I can have that story and those elements fresh in my mind as we hear more information about this. And I really hope that BioWare is given the lead on this Knights of the Republic game, because I think they did such a great job with the first one, and I think BioWare's come a long way since then with their games. Now, of course, BioWare's last few games under EA, let's make sure we acknowledge that like their games that they've done under EA's kind of made BioWare shoot itself in the foot more than once with them basically how they did the marketing for Mass Effect Andromeda, and then how they did Anthem, which were just disappointing. And I really feel like that was EA's decisions over BioWare's, which I think I'm part of a majority that feels that feels this way, that EA is kind of screwing BioWare over. But BioWare is working on a few things. Like, they've recently, in the past few months, they released a tease, not even a teaser, just a tease of Dragon Age 4 with like voice with some lines said from Solus. So hopefully we're going to be seeing that soon, and whatever's going to come, whatever Dragon Age 4 is going to be, hopefully we're going to see that soon. Ideally, if not sooner, but at least by the time E3 2020 comes around, hopefully we'll see some information about that and when we can expect that. And I don't think. And then they've also recently, like, they had like this cryptic tweet, which was basically nothing. But they added like this cryptic Mass Effect tweet that, a lot of people was like, oh, what's that mean? Are they working on a new Mass Effect game? What's that mean? We do know that they are planning to do a new Mass Effect game, that they're not going to let Mass Effect just kind of die, that they are going to do a new one. But what that game's going to be and what exactly is going to happen to it, or when is going to happen to it, is I don't even think it's in storyboard stages at this point. Like, it's like pretty much all they've done is decide we're gonna do something with it. We just don't know what that is yet. And I doubt we would get any information on that until after Dragon Age 4 is at least close to release, if not till after Dragon Age 4 releases. But I'm hopeful. I am. Against my better judgment, I'm hopeful. I hope Dragon Age 4 is really good. I hope whatever they decide to do with Mass Effect is really good. I hope they fix Anthem and make it just a better game and put some more content into that, or probably just come up with Anthem 2 and make it better than what Anthem 1 was. But I hope BioWare is the studio that is at the helm of KOTOR, of this new Knights of the Republic game, whatever it's going to be. I do hope it's BioWare, because I think, like, if we're talking about Knights of the Republic being the skeleton of Dragon Age, like between Knights of the Republic 1 and where they've come with Dragon Age Inquisition, is a huge step forward. So I think if we got Knights of the Republic game that was anything like Dragon Age Inquisition, I think that would be I think that would be great. But now I want to hear from you. So what do you think about these Knights of the Old Republic rumors? Let me know in the comments of this video or on any of my social media. And remember, if you want your answer featured on What You Gaming On, let me know the game you're playing, what you like about it, what you don't like about it in the comments of this video or on any of my social media, and your answer will be featured in an upcoming video. If you want to see any more of my work, either my videos, you can check them out on YouTube, or you can check them out on my website, on my blog website, TreyGuillotine.com, where you can find my videos and my written work, as well as all of the articles I've done for the University of New Orleans Driftwood newspaper. And remember to subscribe to my channel to geek out some more. Thanks for watching. Have fun.